Greetings everybody. We frequently heard that 80% of ladies pursue 20% of men. That is informally the 80-20th rule. In the event that you can place yourself into that gathering of men, you'll fundamentally have ladies moving toward you and staying nearby, sitting tight for you to ask them out. When I was in secondary school in my early 20s, this is what was going on that I confronted. Ladies would simply stay nearby, sitting close to me in my homerooms or making themselves accessible while I was working. In those days, it was not difficult to be part of the 20% positive guys. All you needed to do was dress in a snazzy manner, look charming, work out, and not embarrass yourself. Assuming that you had a vehicle, regardless of whether you acquired it from your father, you were basically set. But when I escaped my long-haul relationship, the game had totally changed on the grounds that I had quit working out for around 10 years, and I wasn't as classy or as charming as I'd once been. Furthermore, ladies were pursuing men that had large chunk of money as well as security. I saw that I had essentially lost my position in that 80-20th ordered progression. At the point when I at long last headed out in a different direction, I understood that if I somehow managed to body construct once more and work on my picture, it would require way significant investment from the things that I was really needing to do in my own existence with respect to self-improvement. On top of that, seeking after a drawn-out relationship was not feasible, so I needed to track down one more method for utilizing my time. The 80-20th rule is just male rivalry to approach females to recreate with. The fundamental issue with this today is that ladies are on contraception and men use protection, so the entirety of your endeavors to pass on your genes are a finished exercise in futility. Sure, you get to have a great deal of coitus, but you likewise risk bogus claims, sexually transmitted diseases, as well as psychological mistreatment, and you need to take on a relationship, and the dangers are basically not worth the effort. When you understand this, then you can completely carry on with your life and let different men deal with the enticements of current ladies. The vast majority of you out there have never really been in the gathering of positive guys, and you expect that it's something extraordinary. What you don't comprehend is that since young ladies are drawn to you doesn't imply that the young ladies you need in your life are really coming dependent upon you and attempting to definitely stand out. For reasons unknown, the most alluring ladies hit on the most attractive folks. They presumably figure that they should just go for broke, so they basically let it all out, and assuming you're an upper-level man, you're continually dismissing awful ladies. At the point when you think you've disposed of one of them, one more, 3 or 4 of them creep in. They may be fat, or they could have a face that a mother might have made by fundamentally tossing them down the steps as a baby. The ladies that you really don't have any desire to date will essentially move toward you at fill in 2. They hope to be enchanted and engaged no matter what the economic well-being of the male. Assuming you look into the 80-20th rule concerning dating and relationships, you'll figure out that most sites and dating specialists say that you just have to seek 20% of what you're searching for in an accomplice. So the 80-20th rule is likewise referred to in certain circles as the 80-20th guideline. Assuming you take a gander at the regular secondary school or school grounds, the 80-20th decide implies that 20% of guys are having approximately 80% of the sex. This standard comes from something known as the Pareto rule. This is the possibility that 20% of the causes make 80% of the impacts. So this prompts a general public where 20% of the guys are evidently cheerful on the grounds that they're continually getting laid. In any case, the main pressing concern is that to have a supportable progress over a significant stretch of time, you really want most of guys in that society to get continually laid. That causes what is going on where the men are in one another's throats attempting to definitely stand out and get laid. They are actively done contending with each other. This is a kind of sexual socialism where each and every man is ensured admittance to generation in the event that he gets hitched. Before human civilization, it was just about 20% of men that were essentially getting most of the ladies, so by tossing the marriage contract through the window, as well as the common agreement with it, we've really returned to a pre-civilization mating game. Most ladies of conceptive age are entirely fine having no strings attached mating with dominant men. Notwithstanding, when they hit the wall, that is the point at which they alarm and frequently settle for a man in that gathering of unwanted 80%. That is likely the main time that numerous such men will get close enough to a lady's brilliant hot vent. There is an article posted on Reddit about the 80-20th rule and why 80% of females are all around the 20% of guys. It was composed by Susan Walsh, and this is the very thing she needs to say when she was asked about the changing sexual elements on school grounds. "What is your opinion about folks who get a lot of young ladies?" she asked. "Do you really suppose they have a rubbish groin?" She stumbled into the term on the web. One of Walsh's perceptions relates to what she calls the delicate collection of mistresses, where high-status guys like the football skipper keep an authority sweetheart as well as an alternating program of neo-courtesans who serve him in the saloon, washroom, or any place the brew is streaming. There used to be more kind of mating, she explains, where a 5 would date a 5. But today, each and every lady who is a 6 or more needs the most smoking person nearby, and she can fundamentally have him for one evening. That is the very thing that Susan Walsh needs to say, and it's sort of alarming on the grounds that as those ladies leave school and enter their wild 20s, they will take those propensities with them, and nevertheless just pursue the dominant men right away. It'll make a ton of harsh and furious men in our general public. However, at last those men, a large portion of whom are valid constrained ejection sorts of folks, will acknowledge their destiny and carry on with life for themselves. Notwithstanding, that will mean the rates of birth will proceed to decline and civilization will ultimately come to an end, except if obviously we concoct a few new mechanical arrangements on the grounds that most ladies won't ever decide to match up with a man on their own level. In a condition of nature before one or the other horticulture or industrialization, having most of ladies mate with the greatest guys guarantee the endurance of our species. A spouse for each man wants service well to get men to compromise their work in the fields as well as production lines for a brilliant wet vent. Be that as it may, in the help economy it quits being significant. Ladies' creature spirits are allowed to go crazy, and the most ideal way to prop ladies to serve espresso and work as educators was essentially to provide them with a carrot of the extremely confident man not too far off before them. But soon enough mechanization will remove the help occupations too, so social warders should track down a superior method for propelling individuals for anything that's sexual the truth on the way. The social and sexual standards we've encountered starting from the beginning of human progress depend on the kinds of work our rulers and modern entrepreneurs have required. I likewise accept that there will be no endeavors to forestall 80% of ladies from pursuing 20% of men within a reasonable time frame. With regards to propagation, ladies search out quality versus quantity and men search out the inverse. At the present time, the 80-20th rule is neutralizing men, yet later on that could change. Rather than 80% of ladies searching out 20% of men, it'll be more probable 100% of ladies searching out 2% of men. There may be a genuine man lack, and the men that decide to deal with ladies will most likely get compensated for it. That is how the situation is playing out in Japan concerning the host bars and male hosts getting compensated for their administrations. There will likewise be a colossal lack of male orbiters in such a case that give ladies free consideration and assets. Men will by and large tell ladies, "Get lost, we don't need you to make us a sandwich any longer," and that is all there is to it for the present talk. That is all I must say for now. Kindly buy in and share the video. Remember that a red pill daily wards the provocative stalkers off, so partake in the rest of your day in good health.